going to a different economy, and we're going to be learning more about that as we go. But clearly, we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought.
We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it'll be one that is more leveraged to technology. And I worry that that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, and then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign.
This effort, and China has big plans for this. They intend to seed their digital yuan into the global environment by giving it away to visitors at next winter's Olympics. When they arrive at the airport, they're going to get yuan digital wallets. They're going to receive digital yuan. They're going to use it throughout their visits to Beijing, and then they're going to take it back to their home countries. They see this as a huge advantage. Why? Because who controls the underlying protocols, who controls the underlying standards of the future of money will control the future of money.
Welcome to the Crypto Teacher. And guys, I come back with that video just to make you think. And we have Jack Dorsey on hyperinflation. Is it coming to America? Yes, it is. Only for a short while. But it's definitely going to be orchestrated. We know we've seen Zimbabwe. We know we've seen Venezuela and plenty of others. But we know it was all planned by the central banks. Remember, they control the supply. And they have flooded the United States dollar. With a balance sheet over $8 trillion, guys, we know the only way they control inflation is by raising interest rates. They can't raise interest rates on this balance sheet. But they know they have crypto that's going to move in. They know they have the robots, algorithms that's going to help deflate everything. But that's over time. But yes, we're going to run into hyperinflation, but then we're going to run right into hyperdeflation with all the automation. And we hear Kathy Woods always talk about it, the innovation stocks and cryptos. The New World Order works off problem, reaction, solution. They created the problem with the C word and then ran this technology right behind it, where the people have no clue of the fourth industrial revolution. They are distracted, and then plus the masses fall for the Hegelian dialectic. They always want to choose a side. But we know the New World Order is working on a great plan. Remember, guys, we're waiting on the big event that's going to distract the masses. We know the Fed, the central banks, never come out and say they took your money. They always have to have a big distraction. Just like the C word, we know the climate agenda, we know the hacking. They have created plenty of events to set up the biggest distraction in history. And remember, the Crypto Teacher told you, because with all this technology, guys, people don't know what's real and not real. Remember that the whole agenda is to rise China and America, the Babylon, to fall. And that will get the New World Order total control over the globe. Because we know when it comes to the New World Order, it's all planned out. You have a wonderful day.
I don't know if you saw it over the weekend, but Jack Dorsey took to Twitter. It was really in the name of Bitcoin, but he talked about the prospect of higher inflation, or what he called hyperinflation, not just in other parts of the world where we've seen hyperinflation before, but hyperinflation right here in the United States. What do you make of that? Do you think he's right?
I think he's gone too far. I mean, he took Nigeria. He put the number of 16% out there. We are not looking at double-digit inflation. We are simply not looking at double-digit inflation. Because if we get the sense of a double-digit inflation, this will create significant demand destruction. This will create a significant dislocation of markets. And then you self-correct. So you actually can't get to hyperinflation. You don't have indexation in the system. You don't have inflationary expectations already destabilized. But I do think his more general point, which is that inflation will be higher and more persistent than what most people expect right now, is a correct one. But I don't think we're anywhere near the risk of a hyperinflation.
Yeah, we'll see, Mohammed. When you talk about like a market event that causes a break, they seem to almost be manufactured sometimes. There a lot of times are true, but a lot of times it's just in hindsight we point to something, oh, well, that was it, and we should have seen it. And other times it almost just seems like it was meant to happen. Otherwise, that's how sentiment works. And you see, I see it in the betting markets too. When sentiment gets too heavy one way or another, you're in for a correction or a comeuppance or something like that. Have you noticed that, Mohammed? Sentiment. How do we know that there's a market event coming when sentiment gets to 90% bullish? How does it happen that suddenly, when there is a break, we point to, oh, well, there was this market event when the sentiment has told you it's going to happen anyway?
Yeah, you've got to be a behavioral scientist, and I've stressed the importance of understanding the behavioral aspects of markets. What we say market technicals, but it's really behavioral issues. Joe, we had 2 near accidents this year, and I think it's fair to say none of us saw them coming. Who would have thought that Archegos, a family office, could inflict $10 billion of losses on the banking system? And we are very lucky that it wasn't the US banks. And who would have thought that GameStop plus Reddit plus Robinhood could knock 4 to 5% off the S&P in 24 hours by causing a degrossing of hedge fund balance sheet? In both cases, we were lucky. But no one saw these things coming. And they just tell you that when you lived in a world of abundant liquidity, people take too much risk. And mistakes can happen, and accidents can happen. The key issue is that these accidents are small and not systemic.
The most powerful person in the world is the storyteller. The storyteller sets the vision, values, and agenda of an entire generation to come. Steve Jobs. And guys, you know I truly believe in this. When you look at the New World Order, they're the storytellers. And that's the reason why I wrote my New World Order book. But guys, now it's time to change the current generation. And I wrote 3 kids' books. You know, I love the Trinity because I understand the power that's in it. So I have 3 books. We have an opportunity to change the generation, to educate, not just me, but I want to show you that I take action on a daily basis. And I want you to take action on a daily basis. Whether it's your job, whether it's in your community, we have an opportunity right now to educate the masses. I posted this on my Twitter account. Please share, but this is a short clip of the 3 books. There's going to be a clothing line and action figures. Please get these books for your kids, nephews, cousins, friends, so therefore we can start the re-education now. Because as we see, the 4th Industrial Revolution foundation is definitely here. Robots, algorithms, drones, taking humanity out the picture. We have to re-educate. But let's get into the video.
Part 1. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save the village. Part 2. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save New York from COVID-33. Part 3. King Joshua and Grandma Tam goes to China.
It's mandatory to get part 1, part 2, and part 3 of this series. It's time to re-educate Generation Z.